Welcome to this Football Manager 2016 experiment. Today I am bringing back an old classic of mine. This is actually the fourth time I've done this, but it's probably my most popular Football Manager experiment ever. It's the experiment where I swap all of the English leagues around. I invert the tables, so the English Premier League teams are all in the Conference North and South, and all the Conference North and South teams are in the Premier League. And I've swapped all the other divisions around as well, so it is effectively completely inverted. So, the English Premier League as it stands right now, we've got the likes of Bishop Stortford, Gosport, Truro. Now, I've done it on reputations. So, for example, Conference North and South, I've split into two, both of those divisions. And the bottom 10 teams in each of those divisions were put in the English Premier League. And then the rest were put in the Championship. And as you go down, you can see we've got Chelmsford from Chumps to Champions, my FM15 series. Be interested to see how they do on this. Margate, Maidstone. Then in League One, we've got the conference teams, so the National League teams. So we've got Aldershot and Gateshead and Grimsby. League 2 is actually the same as it is now because I've inverted the leagues, which means League 2 is in the middle and it stays as it is. The League 1 teams are in the Vanarama National League. So we've got Barnsley, Colchester, Coventry in there. And then finally, the Vanarama National League North and South, we've got the Premier League and the Championship teams in here. And I've tried to do it as geographically accurate as possible. There's a few anomalies in there. Wolves, for example, are actually a bit more north of Aston Villa and West Brom. However, because of I wanted to have 10 Premier League teams in each of the North and South, and then 12 Championship teams in each of the North and South, that's the way I've done it. And technically, you may not believe me, but Norwich is actually further north than Birmingham. If you look in terms of latitude, it's slightly further north, but I've put it in the south just to simplify things. So we've got Birmingham and Wolves in the south, but West Brom and Aston Villa in the north, despite the fact they're all pretty much in the same place if you look at a map. So in part 1 today, I'm going to do quite a few parts, by the way, a handful of parts, and we'll go quite far into the future to see what happens. But in part 1, I'm just going to holiday one season, and we're going to see who wins what in this one season. I hope you find this exciting and interesting. Those of you that have watched this before will know what this is all about, and it certainly is my most popular Football Manager experiment so far, I would say. Now, if you can do something massive for me, if you can somehow beat the likes that part 1 got on my FM15 experiment, I will upload part 2 tomorrow. So it's up to you whether you want part 2 uploaded tomorrow. So part 1 of the FM15 version of this got 520 likes in total as it stands at the time of recording. If you can beat that by tomorrow, then I will happily upload part 2. If not, then I will upload it in a couple days' time anyway. But just to challenge you guys watching, and that would be much appreciated. If you're new to the channel, it would also be great if you could hit that subscribe button. That would be marvellous. And also check out some of my other videos. Those of you that have missed some of my recent FM experiments, maybe go and check them out as well. And if you've got any suggestions for Football Manager experiments over the next few months, then put them in the comment section below. I write all of the decent ones, the ones that jump out at me, into a little notebook, and eventually I might get round to doing them. But I'm just banging out the classics at the moment. I've already done the World Super League, and now I'm doing this inverted league database. I will also upload this database to the Steam Workshop when I upload part 2. So if you manage to beat 520 likes today, then I'll upload it tomorrow. So let's holiday 1 year and see what has happened. So the English Premier League was won by Harrogate. You can see there it was so close at the top of the table. 64 points for both Harrogate, Hayes and Yeading and Gosport. And Harrogate just about winning on goal difference. But because I guess these teams are very similar, they've all got very low reputation, it's a pretty tight league. The team winning with 64 points, that's unheard of. And they lost 10 games and drew 10 games. They only won 18 games, the winners of the top division. That's incredible, really. Unfortunately, 3 teams did have to go down, and it's Truro, Stalybridge and Gainsborough going down. Pretty tight there as well, though, as you can see there. Top goal scorer in the Premier League was this guy for Harrogate, Dominic Knowles, who managed to get 18 goals in the league. Average rating wise, it was a Truro player, despite the fact they got relegated, and he's a defender as well. He's actually plays for Torquay, but was on loan at Truro, I'm guessing, or he's on loan at Torquay. I have no idea what's going on there. Assists wise, Kieran Bywater was top assist for Bishop Stortford, and player of the match wise, Mike Carter managed to get 12 for Gosport. You can see the manager movements over here if you're interested in that, but it's quite amusing really, seeing Man City, Chelsea, then Harrogate winning the league. So I'm going to work my way down the divisions, and I'm guessing a lot of you are probably interested to see who's managed to go up from the north and south, and over the next few parts we will see those Premier League teams make their way back up to the top division. But you're also interested to see how many teams in the top couple divisions can survive and will eventually, I mean, a lot of them will eventually get relegated all the way back down again, but some may be able to survive in the top couple divisions with the TV money. Champions League money, for example, could come into effect as well and help these teams sustain themselves at the top. So Championship wise, we saw Whitehawk and Sutton United get automatically promoted. Whitehawk running away with it, despite the fact Ebbsfleet were odds-on favourites to win the league. They were unsuccessful in the playoffs. Margate managed to get promoted. I'm happy to see Chelmsford City stay in the Championship comfortably so, because they were actually joint favourites to go down with FC United. But Hednesford, Basingstoke and FC United were relegated. You can see the top scorer was a guy for Sutton United. Fleetwood getting the top scorer accolade. Craig Stone, top of the average ratings. Assist wise, Sam Deering for Whitehawk. Craig Stone also managed to get the most man of the matches. So well done to those three teams getting promoted. So down to Sky Bet League 1, who got promoted. Tranmere Rovers, comfortably so, 89 points. Then Woking with 81, and Macclesfield going up in the playoffs with 70 points, beating Eastleigh, Grimsby and Forest Green. Barrow, Aldershot, Welling and Altrincham going down. You can see the top scorer here. Two guys managed to get 20 goals this season. Craney, top average rating, and Dayton for Cheltenham, most assists, along with a couple other players as well, getting 13 assists. Manager movements, you see Aldershot were busy, getting relegated and changing their manager a couple of times as well. Down to League 2 then. League 2 was won by Carlisle United with 88 points, Yeovil second, Cambridge United third, and Oxford went up via the playoffs. Cambridge and Oxford going up in the same season, that's great to see. Morecambe and York were relegated out of the Football League. They will struggle, I'm guessing they will struggle with the Premier League and Championship teams in the new Premier League teams going up to the conference. This was the top goal scorer, was a Carlisle player, along with Craig McHale-Smith for Luton as well. A few other statistics you can see there if you are interested. But this is where it's going to get really interesting as we get down to the non-league football now. You can see Sheffield United and Millwall going up. Millwall via the playoffs. Those two will probably start to fly up the leagues now. They've managed to get out of the Vanarama National League, simply because they'll be playing with opposition that is below them, I guess, reputation-wise. And they probably will fly. Fleetwood, Scunthorpe, Shrewsbury and Crewe unfortunately relegated down to the Premier League and Championship, effectively, of the National League North and South. We can see Man United winning the league with 104 points. Man City going up via the playoffs, beating the likes of Liverpool, Newcastle and Everton in the playoffs. Rotherham, Preston and Bolton relegated out of the game effectively into the regional league, because they may come back up at some point. I'm sure they will, but it's a bit dangerous getting relegated in this first year especially. Rondon was top scorer alongside Aguero in this division. Aguero got the highest average rating, De Bruyne second. De Bruyne got 28 assists in this league. Remember, they're playing 42 games in this division, and they're playing alongside some of the Championship teams as well. You can see manager movements quite interesting. Leeds getting rid of their manager, of course, as did Bolton, who were relegated at the bottom. Burnley losing Sean Dyche, and Simon Grayson left Preston as well when they got relegated. Some really interesting statistics here, actually. Mignolet, most assists with 18, that's pretty high. They only lost 3 games all season, Liverpool, unlucky not to get promoted. But we're going to see Man United and Man City fly up to the divisions probably every season now. So the Vanarama National League South was won by, I'm just looking at the playoffs here, want to see the league table. Arsenal won the league with 112 points. They only lost 2 games all season, and Chelsea won the playoff final against West Ham 3-1. Tottenham and Swansea also losing out in the playoffs. QPR doing very well in this, despite in real life they're a championship team. They managed to finish above Southampton, Watford, Norwich, Palace and Bournemouth all the way down in 16th. Charlton, Bristol City and Birmingham relegated out of the conference, or the National League, whatever you want to call it. So once again, Arsenal and Chelsea are probably going to fly up the divisions with Man United and Man City. But remember, there's only 2 promotion places in the Vanarama Premier, meaning 2 teams will get stuck in that division, at least. You can see the manager movements here. Eddie Howe lost his job. Birmingham went through a couple managers as well. Brentford got rid of their manager, but they did manage to just about survive. Eden Hazard was top scorer of 27 goals. That's unusual. Giroud got 24, and Benik Afobe did very well for Wolves as well. Eden Hazard, top average rating. Matic, most assists. Some really interesting things going on there. I'm interested to see what's happened with the transfers. You can see a lot of players leaving this league now, going abroad or across to different teams. Matic was the top transfer, going from Chelsea to PSG for £28 million. If you spot anything unusual, amazing or pretty ridiculous, put it in the comment section below as well, because I won't spot everything whilst making these videos, especially as I'm trying to make them as concise as possible but in depth at the same time. In the National League North, transfer-wise, we saw Mata go to Real Madrid for £43.5 million. Now, we will see a lot of these players leaving this division over time. They're playing in a league that has a lower reputation, but we will also see the league reputation go up over time because of these huge teams playing in this division. Especially now, there's quite a few Premier League teams that will be stuck in this division for a while, because there's only 2 promotion places, remember, and we will eventually see some of these players go into the top division, where teams like Hemel Hempstead will spend a lot of money because they will have money, especially next season. This season, not so much. They won't have any money at the start of the game, but next season they're going to have tons of money. TV money, some teams will have Champions League money, and that sort of thing. Let's have a look at the FA Cup then, and a few of the other English trophies, because this is particularly interesting, especially the League Cup. The FA Cup won by a conference side in a way. Man United beating Everton 2-1 in the final. Depay and Young with the goals. James McCarthy with a goal for Everton. But the League Cup was won by Notts County 3-2. Great final. You can see the goal scorers there. John Stead with a couple of the goals. And then the Community Shield was won by Arsenal 2-1 against Chelsea. Johnson's Paint Trophy won by Notts County. They've completed the double there. 4-1 win against Crawley. Well done to them there. And the FA Trophy. Now this is Premier League teams competing, or real life Premier League teams competing. And as you can see, Man City won on extra time against Arsenal. Sterling, Zappaleta and Giroud with the goals in this game. Really quite interesting things going on there. Champions League though, that is interesting. Can like a conference south or north team win the Champions League? Let's have a look at who won it. It was Bayern Munich who won the final against Barcelona this year. But let's have a look to see how far our English teams managed to get. I think I'm quite interested to see. So the final, you can see there. Semi-final, any English teams? No. 2 Italian and 2 Spanish. Now that is also interesting, because English teams will probably fail in the Champions League for the next few years, meaning Champions League places will go down for English teams. They may even go down to 1 place if the league reputation really gets spoiled. But as you can see here, Man United did get through to the quarter-final, but they did lose against Barcelona. In fact, all 4 English teams managed to get through. Chelsea lost against Barcelona, Arsenal lost against PSG, and Man City lost against Valencia in the first knockout round. Now, we won't see these teams in the Champions League for many years to come, but let's have a look at the Euro Cup and see who won the final. If it's an English team, that means they'd actually be playing in the Champions League next year. And it almost is the case. Dortmund beat Liverpool on penalties. Liverpool really unlucky not to get a Champions League place next season. That would have been intriguing, actually, because Liverpool would have been in the Champions League in the second season, but also in the Conference or the National League North, which would have been really interesting to see. Unfortunately, they won't be. Dortmund will be in the Champions League. So that is the end of part 1. I hope you found that interesting. It's definitely going to get more and more interesting over the next few parts. Now, if you can do that massive thing, it's a bit of a task trying to get 520 likes on this video. I don't usually get that many, and it's a big ask of mine. But if you are able to smash 520 likes on this video by tomorrow, then I will definitely upload part 2 for you. And it will be 3 seasons into the future, and I will also upload the database to the Steam Workshop so you can play on this yourself. So whenever I upload part 2, I will definitely upload the Steam Workshop file as well for you. I hope you found this first part interesting. Please leave your thoughts in the comment section below, say hi, and maybe follow me on Twitter as well. That'd be fantastic if you haven't done so already. I will see you in part 2, guys.